So hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome to another Premier Division review. Going to review the games on Monday and the Derry City Sligo Rovers game on Tuesday, and then I'm going to give quick predictions for the games upcoming. So let us know what you think in the comments about anything that happened over the weekend, results, performances, your team, anything at all. Basically, subscribe to the channel please if you haven't already. Where else to start? Shamrock Rovers 2, Bohemians 3 at Tallaght Stadium, and this is a match I vlogged. At the end of the vlog, we usually do a quick review, and this was one of those where you needed a day or two to absorb what happened. I suppose I've absorbed that now, to be honest. Check out that vlog if you haven't seen it though. Unbelievable game. First half, Shamrock Rovers go ahead in 39 minutes, but the first half, I actually thought BOHS did all right, actually. Hoonihan has a brilliant effort just before he scores, a couple of minutes before he scores, where he crashes off the post. Unbelievable effort. And Pico Lopez had a chance of a header, which he could have done better with. But BOHS had their chances too. I thought earlier in the game, James Clark could have connected with an opportunity, which would have put them one up as well. And BOHS looked sharp, and there wasn't much in the game. So they would have been devastated to go down at half-time 2-0. And when Hoonihan scores that goal, which he takes very well in 39 minutes, from BOHS' point of view, you're thinking they have to hang in there till half-time. But then pretty much a minute later, Michael Noonan scores. From his point of view, it's a brilliant goal. He takes it, drives from his own half, drives at the defence. Great run by Green, actually. To take the defender's mind slightly off a distraction basically for Noonan essentially, and Noonan does well, a little bit of a shimmy and plays it into the corner net, and it's 2-0. And to be honest, you're thinking to yourself immediately game over. Why are you thinking game over? Well, not many teams come from 2 down against Shamrock Rovers. BOHS are the type of side, as we've seen, that when things go wrong they have fallen apart. And even at the time, I was thinking when the halftime whistle went, I was thinking to myself, they needed to get in 1-0 at halftime anyway, and they've conceded a goal and then conceded another one real quick has probably killed them in this game. The second half gets underway, etc. Not a lot happening, to be honest. Eventually, BOHS start to get to grips with it a little bit, particularly around the midfield area. Dawson Devoy is a player that really started to come into the game, I'd say, with about a half an hour to go. You notice this. The BOHS were starting to take a bit of control in midfield. Shamrock Rovers were a bit lacklustre, I think. I'll talk about them in a minute. But Devoy scores in 70 minutes. It's a very well taken goal, actually. Tierney scores in 81 minutes. And obviously Rhys Brennan, the youngster, the winger, came on and scored an unbelievable winner after McGinty saved and the composure to finish again. And basically the last minute, wasn't it, of stoppage time. And, from BOHS' point of view, not only have they come from 2-0 down to get a big win, but they've come from 2-0 down at Tallaght Stadium. I mentioned in the vlog, actually, that the last 10 games at Tallaght Stadium, Rovers have won 9 and BOHS have drawn 1. So it's a brilliant result, ordinarily. But to do it in a Dublin derby, and whilst Shamrock Rovers have been on form. They played really well in a very good game on Friday against Pats. They had other good results where they beat Waterford well at home. They beat Cork City well at home recently. And it looked like this was going to be another comfortable win. I think that got into their heads a little bit. I think they thought to themselves, there's subconsciously even, there's no way BOHS are going to get back into this game. No chance. Once they do that, and BOHS get the grips of the game the second half, and now they have the confidence and momentum of actually pulling the goal back, there's almost no way back for Shamrock Rovers. They can't get themselves back into the game, basically. And they start to panic, if I'm honest, as well. And BOHS, to be fair, they took full advantage of that. And, it was a superb win for BOHS. The challenge then for the BOHS is, can they kick on and use this? They should be coming into the game Friday on a high. They've not just beaten Shamrock Rovers, they've done that before. It's the way they've done it. And Bowes needed a win like this for me. I think this is better than Bowes winning 4-0, for example. A game like this where they were dead and buried and they've come back and won it. Um, they've had other games this season, and then last season too, to be honest, where they might go behind and it's a complete disaster for them. So this might serve as a you keep going till the end. You know what I mean? This is a game, or this game proves that we can come from behind because you will go behind. Bad things are going to happen in football matches. You know what I mean? You're not going to, it can't be a 3-0 win every time you play, or you can't go ahead every time you win, even. So it's a massive win for Bowes for me. For Shamrock Rovers' point of view, it's a huge disappointment because they were on form coming into the game as well, and to let a 2-goal lead slip, they should have been able to manage the game from their point of view and see it through. But I genuinely think complacency came into their heads into this game, to be honest. I know some Shamrock Rovers fans, and let me know what you think in the comments, are a bit annoyed that Jack Byrne was taken off. But to be honest, I thought Jack Byrne was flagging 10 minutes before that. I thought he was out of puff completely. So it would have been worse if Byrne played on, and the game was turning already by that point in terms of Bowes getting on top in that area of the pitch, to be honest. But it would have been worse if you played Jack Byrne and, he picks up an injury because he's been gassed out of the game. He's gassed, basically, and he picks up an injury and he's out for another few weeks or whatever, maybe longer. So I wouldn't subscribe to that theory. I think Byrne had to come off, to be honest with you. But what a win for Bowes. A superb win for Bowes. They've had a lot of... they must have enjoyed that one, put it that way. Let me know what you think in the comments. Next up, we're going to Turner's Cross, where Cork City won a very, very important game against Waterford FC in this Munster derby. Lonergan, after 53, gave Waterford the lead. McLaughlin's penalty in 89, and Kit Nelson's winner in the last minute gave Cork City a 2-1 win over Waterford FC. Now, a good time for Waterford. They've lost 7 league games on the bounce. They lost their manager in Keith Long. He was sacked earlier on in the week. And this is the second time this season this has actually happened to Waterford as well, where they were leading 1-0 in the closing stages and were beaten 2-1. So a bad defeat for them, particularly against their Munster rivals, who are also, their rivals at the bottom of the table, really. Cottle O'Sullivan was sharp in this game. He had a couple of chances in the first half he would have been disappointed with. But Waterford taking the lead in 53 minutes thanks to Tommy Lonergan. It was a good play by Conan Noonan to get the ball through, and Lonergan finished as well. Waterford a good spell after that. Ryan Burke went close as well. But seemed to panic in the last few minutes. The penalty, backboard, it's a penalty, by the way. He panics. He takes Cottle O'Sullivan down. There's enough Waterford players in the box to deal with the cross as well. He takes him down, and McLaughlin took his penalty away. But then later on, brilliant play by Cottle O'Sullivan. Tenacious, will to win the ball and play to Kit Nelson. He finishes very well. And Beng is a player that I like, and he played actually right wing back. He's been a centre back, but right wing back could be a position that suits him too. Got good pace about him up and down that right hand side, and difficult time for Waterford. Waterford fans, let me know what you're thinking generally, particularly with the Keith Long sacking. Where are you coming from there? You think it was the right decision or whatever, but it's difficult because it's a squad good enough is the question as well. They've missed it like Sandy Boyle, his leadership at the back, etc., etc. They're not creating a lot of chances in games generally. It's a struggle for them at the moment. Cork City, Bolger was back. He went off injured now, but according to Tim Clancy, it might be just cramp. They'll be hoping that's the case, because I think his previous injury was a calf injury, and they'll hope that's not a reoccurrence. But I don't know, I just feel there's more improvement in Cork City than Waterford as well. That's why this result was crucial. Maguire could be back in 2 or 3 weeks as well, and I think that could be massive. Daniels up front made his debut actually in the game for Cork City. Threw himself about basically a bit, so we'll have to wait for judgment there on him. But really good result for Cork City, you'd have to say, and a disappointing one for Waterford again. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now at Sullivan Lamb Park, I was obviously at Shamrock Rovers and Bowes and vlogged, as I mentioned before. Check out that vlog. But I watched this game as well in its entirety, and I'll be honest, I was completely bored watching the game. I thought it was a tough watch. It was a very tough watch. Interestingly, Kev Doherty came out after the game and said it was Drogheda United's best performance this season. Personally, I don't subscribe to that. I'd be interested to know what Drogheda United fans think on that one. But um, now Drogheda off the ball in particular were brilliant. They were winning the ball back, especially the first half. They were winning the ball back. They were most 50-50s Drogheda United players are winning, and they weren't giving Pats much space. In that regard, they did play well. And a couple of chances that fell were to Drogheda, basically. Lamb and Shane Farrell, a good effort, tipped over by Anang. And Pats were, the first half, well, I'll talk about the second half in a minute, but the first half, Pats were ambling, really, I thought. They were very flat. No cohesion in their play. Drifting, really, to be honest with you. And if you're a Drogheda fan, you could argue, in particular in the first half, that maybe Pats were there for the taking because Pats weren't creating anything. They weren't really moving the ball well. They were moving it very slowly when they had it. And I thought Drogheda were first to most of the balls in that half. Second half, Pats were a little bit better. They couldn't have been worse in the first half, but only a little bit better. Again, Dennison one save to make, which was a decent effort, to be fair, from Barry Bagley, actually, particularly in the conditions, the wet surface. Dennison gets down well and claws it away, to be fair. But there was never a spell in the second half where Pats had Drogheda pinned back even for 5 or 10 minutes and were throwing the kitchen sink at them. From Pat's point of view, I would say that was very disappointing. Drogheda, Pats had more of the ball in the second half, but Drogheda didn't really threaten much either until maybe the last 10 minutes. It was, again, no real chances though either, but they had a couple of situations where if the wrong decision for a pass and stuff like that. They'd also 2 penalty shouts. The first one was difficult to see fully, to be honest with you. But for me, the second one was, I could see that fully. I feel that was a penalty, 100%. Gravosti struggled, I think, all match, actually, for Pats. And I think he was involved in the first incident as well on Alua, as far as I remember, which was very difficult to see. And the foul, if he was fouled, it might have been just outside the box. But the second one on Davis, for me, should have been a penalty. I think it was a poor decision from the officials not to give that. Davis goes into the box, has momentum, as you normally would as an attacker, and Gravossi just shoves him over, to be honest with you. Very clumsy, and got away with it. So, who's happy with the point, you might say? Drogheda are top still, Pats are second. Pats will be, even though I thought the game was poor overall, to be honest with you. This is the third time they've played in a row in Drogheda, and it's been 0-0, by the way. But I think Pats and Stephen Kenny would be more disappointed with their performance than Drogheda would be overall, I think. Drogheda might think that this was a good chance they've got the 3 points. Pats in no way deserved the 3 points. They never looked like ever getting the 3 points in the game, to be honest. And Kenny did speak after the game. Sorry, there's a red light flashing on me there. Kenny did speak after the game, and for the first time, he looked like a man that wasn't impressed with the application, to be honest with you, at all. And he was right, to be fair. It was a poor performance by Pats. In that way, you think it's not the worst point in the world. If you go to Drogheda and play poorly and come away with a point, yes, okay. But they are going to have to improve, Pats. They really are. As for Drogheda, still lost 1 in 11. They'll be content, I think, with the point. But maybe disappointed they didn't get certainly 1 penalty anyway. And let me know what you think in the comments if you're a Pats or Drogheda fan. Now, Talca Park, another entertaining game involving Shelbourne and Galway United. Galway United came away with a 2-2 draw at Talca Park. I said in the video before the game, I think, that I thought Shelbourne might nick it, but I did say Drogheda, just talking about Drogheda a second ago. But Galway United, they don't lose 2 games in a row very often. So in England, they might get something out of the game. They did. Very entertaining game at Talca. Both teams had chances. Shels had more possession. Chapman scoring after the first minute opens the game up, doesn't it, basically? It's good play. It's a lovely finish by Els Chapman. A lovely finish. And, after that, there's chances. Both sides have chances. Meepo's a couple of sighters. Bobby Burns as well. He's unlucky to hit the bar. Chapman hits the bar again as well. So two players hit the bar. And after Chapman hits the bar, Galway, brilliant break by them from their point of view. And Dyer comes in, cuts inside Mark Coyle, lovely finish. And Mark Coyle has been playing centre back for Shelbourne, and he'll give you everything. But for me, he's not a centre back. They're missing Barrett and even Temple there as well. You know, proper centre backs, I think. And they're conceding goals because of it, to be honest with you. Because the players are missing. They're playing good football, but they're conceding goals. But it's a brilliantly well taken goal by Dyer, to be fair. Meepo in the second half in 67 scores. And this time he is composed. I've talked about how he's lacked composure. It's a lovely touch, by the way, to take it away from Bruder. And it's just a lovely composed finish into the corner. It looks easy when it's done, doesn't it? But he struggled with those chances. I keep saying with Meepo, I know Shels fans have been writing him off. But he's getting into positions and getting opportunities, you know? If he just improves his composure in front of goal, do you know what I mean? He's going to score a decent amount of goals because he's the one that's getting into positions to take these chances, and he hasn't been taking them. But you know what I mean? He's getting into the positions. I often say it's worse if you're not getting into positions. And one thing you'd have to say about him is, even though he's missed an awful lot of chances and gilt-edged chances, he doesn't shun opportunities. He doesn't hide from it. Do you know? So, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if he went on a run of goals, to be honest with you. Moses Dyer's a real handful, isn't he? And he does very well to equalise in 81 and takes his chance really, really well. That's now 4 goals in Dublin for Dyer. He got 2 up at Dalymount, and another lovely finish, this time with his left foot. But overall, probably Shels would be the more disappointed with the draw. But both teams had chances. Hickey had a chance that he went close with as well. And Shels continued to have chances in the game too. And they are playing entertaining football at the moment. They're just missing that steeliness at the back and leadership at the back. Coyle's a leader and that's why he's there. But he's not a centre-back in reality, you know. And, you know, he's doing the job. But, you know, he's if they had Barrett and or Temple there, I think they'd be a bit more solid, to be fair. But a really, really entertaining game at Talca Park. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now at the Brandywell, they finished Derry City 3, Sligo Rovers 0. And Sligo Rovers are often the bogey team for Derry City, but they weren't a bogey team in this game because Derry City performed very well and deserved the 3-0 win. Could have had a few more goals in the game, to be fair. Sligo will be very disappointed with the performance, particularly after winning up in, or down in, I should say, in their case, in Waterford on Friday. But it was a very good performance from Derry City. Danny Mullen with 2 goals and Gavin White with 1. Gavin White's goal particularly very, very good in 25 minutes. I thought it was Duffy-esque, wasn't it? It does very well. Picks up the ball in zone half. Sligo are very high up. Jack Doyle Hayes, I should say, in his sights, and he beats him well, but he shows great. It's not easy running through at that speed. He shows great composure to finish it. Question marks over the first goal? Yeah, absolutely. It was a handball by Danny Mullen, to be fair, and he puts it into the back of the net under Sargent, which he should have done better anyway. But to be fair, in the officials' defence, it was difficult to see in real time if it hit his hand or not. It was only when you saw replays you realised it. But I don't think Sligo Rovers can have too many complaints because, as I said, Derry City were full value for the victory. Played some good stuff at times, for most of the game, in fact. Good tempo. Something I've been critical with Derry City at times this season, where they haven't really played with that trust and tempo that you obviously want them to play. So that's a good result for them now, after winning in Galway, particularly on Friday, to back it up now with a win on Monday. And it's a very, very good win for Derry City. And it's interesting because, look at the league table here. I'll just prop it up there quickly. As you can see, 11 games gone. Look where Derry are. They're 6th. Look how many points they are off Drogheda 3. And even Bohs in 7th. Do you know what I mean? There's 10 teams in this league. After 11 games, there's a 5-point gap from 1st to 7th. That's incredible, isn't it? That really is incredible. Sligo Rovers will be very disappointed with the performance. They were outplayed on the night, to be honest. And even when they concede goals, you feel like they're a threat going forward as well. But they weren't really a threat at all in this game, to be honest. And as I said, 3-0 didn't flatter Derry City. Could have added 1 or 2 more, potentially, to be honest. But a really, really good performance from Derry City. And I thought Winchester, I watched this game actually in full, by the way. I thought Winchester had a really good game for Derry City, but it was just a good all-round performance, to be honest with you. The likes of Ronan Boyce playing very well at the moment as well, etc. And just good all-round performance. That goal for Gavin White might give him a bit of confidence. A player, I said, keep an eye on the start of the season. Hasn't really got into gear yet, but that'll help. And as for Sligo Rovers, you know, would they've taken 3 points though on Friday? Waterford away and Derry City away? Possibly. Let me know what you think in the comments if you're a Sligo Rovers fan, but possibly, so that way it's not too bad. And there's a big game against Cork coming up, and that leads me on to the predictions. So lads, just very quick predictions. Once again, share your predictions in the comments for the games of Friday and Saturday. Bohemians St. Patrick's Athletic. I spoke about BOHS and said they have to take a lot of confidence from winning that game. Not just winning the game, the way they won the game. They have to be in a high going into that game. Kenny wasn't happy with Pat's performance at all against Drogheda United. So this could be very interesting and an exciting game. I'm going to go for a draw here, but I'm going to go for an exciting draw. Bohemians 2, St. Patrick's Athletic 2. Galway United and Drogheda United at Eamon DC Park. And I just have a sense that Drogheda are going to get their second defeat of the season here. Galway United, welcoming back Moses Dyer from suspension and obviously scoring 2 then the other day. I just have a feeling. It's just a feeling. This could be anything though. We know that with these games. Douglas James Taylor might be back in the bench, by the way, on Friday as well, which is great news for Drogheda, by the way. But yeah, I'm just going for Galway. I think they might win it. Galway United 1, Drogheda United 0 for me. There I see Waterford FC and Derry City. 2 big wins for Derry City recently and good performances. They'll hope to bring that into the game against Waterford. If they do, I think the Blues will be in trouble. Look, Porus at the back, struggling to create chances. Unless they revert to some of the early season form, I don't see Waterford getting anything out of the game. I'm going to go for Waterford FC 1, Derry City 2. Shamrock Rovers and Shelbourne's a real interesting game. Second Dublin derby the weekend as well, at Dallas Stadium. And interesting because Shelbourne are playing very good football at the moment, but conceding goals and missing key players at the back. What will we get from Shamrock Rovers? I think we're going to get a serious reaction after that. Capitulation really in home to bowls, but they've got so many champions in their team. I think we're going to see a reaction. Will it be enough to win the game is the question. That's the thing. Because Shelbourne, this could be a cracker as well. But I think Rovers are going to win this one. Shamrock Rovers 2, Shelbourne 1. Finally on Saturday, Sligo Rovers are home, I presume, because it's Saturday. Yes, they are. Sligo Rovers and Cork City is a must not lose even this early in the season, in my sense, for the bit of red. Cork City, still missing some players, to be buoyant by that result. They've the worst away form in the league, though, bear in mind. Sligo Rovers performed awfully against Derry City, so you expect a reaction from them. My brain is playing tricks, particularly in this game. Big win for Sligo Rovers. I just have a weird feeling. Sligo Rovers 3, Cork City 1. So once again, let me know what you think in the comments. Give us your few predictions. And thanks for watching. See you later.